Coach Luke Strand is with us this morning. We have a big series this weekend for men's hockey, Michigan Tech on Friday and Saturday here at the Mayo Clinic Health System Events Center. We'll start out, Coach. You get a chance to get back with the guys after a pretty extended break over Christmas. Series against Northern Michigan with some good things and some bad things, obviously, that went on. What are your thoughts heading into the series this weekend in terms of where the team is at mentally?
Well, yeah, it's good to be back home. Obviously, we get to play at home. It's been a bit. Series on the road was disappointing. Obviously, the Friday outcome didn't score, didn't get some jobs done that we needed to, and I thought the response for our group on Saturday was very good, and it'll be a good preparation. It's back at school, right? There's a lot of things that go on academically, their lives, to put us back into some normalcy and some new routine, but. I'm quite certain once Friday comes, the guys will be excited to get back to action.
Yeah, getting back into that routine this week, what's been the focus in practice these first couple of days in preparation for a home series?
Well, there's a compete level. I mean, Tech's got it. I think their balance of their lineup, their strength of their group is through that depth. We got to make sure we understand who's on the ice for the other team. At the same time, we got to keep sharpening our own saw. Just we talk a lot about protecting the standard and raising the bar, and we're trying to do that inch at a time. And I like that the fact that guys they're ready to go back to school. They're ready to get back in this routine of an everyday student here.
Given the results of the weekend throughout the league, there seems to be a lot of parity between teams again this year. What does that say about different coaching staffs and the way that everybody puts their team together in the CCHA?
Yeah, there's a balance. I mean, you've got to be able to win in your conference and out of your conference if you want big, long term success. The parity is alive and well. There's just when you, especially the group, the teams you play four times, you know the other opponent quite well. You're going to be on top of your game about who that opposition is. There's some subtlety as far as. I think Dennis has done a great job in PG. Their guys have, they come into a new coach. You got some adjusting to do. They've shown growth. A lot of teams have shown growth in their game. So that only adds to that parity about what our league brings night in, night out.
Take some questions, Kevin Dudley.
Luke, obviously in the long season, you're gonna have low points. You're going to have frustrating losses. I feel like one of the most important characteristics a team can have, though, is moving on from those quickly. How happy were you with the way your team was able to do that Saturday in a big way with a pretty emphatic win?
Yeah, it was really good. It goes back to that beginning of the year talking about the stove is red hot, but the guys still want to touch it, I guess. Hopefully we've got some maturity and discipline in our group that's a one-off and we got to get back to work. But that's, to Charlie's point earlier, like everyone's going to want to play. Northern's a better team than they were in the beginning of the year. They'd played already games after Christmas time. I think it caught our attention what we need to do day in, day out, night in, night out.
Looking at Tech, you've obviously played a series against them. You had a really good result. You went there and swept them, which is something that hasn't. I mean, it's a really hard thing to do. You're confident that you're going to get their best, given that you beat them twice in their place.
Yeah, I think the rivalry between Tech and us is alive and well. You go up there, you do your job, and the scores can be what they were, but the games are tight. The games are great games. It's going to be getting back into that. I know that their group is good. They've got a really talented, deep group that we've got to be prepared for up and down our lineup to make sure we're taking advantage of situations when they arise.
Hey, go ahead, Don.
Coach, maybe not the result you wanted in terms of power play on Friday, 1 for 6, but on the weekend, you went 4 for 10 with a big night Saturday. Anything over the break when it came to the power play that you necessarily changed, or is it just better play, better refinement coming out of the break and resulting in those 4 power play goals last weekend.
Well, we could have used a couple of them on Friday and spread them out. No, I think the challenge for the power play groups always is execution, and too much is given, much is expected. So when you don't get those results as we did Friday, I thought their puck intensity and focus on Saturday was very good. I thought their mentality to be maybe less cute, more direct at the cage was, had caught their attention. So sure, there's been some extra time to work on it. We've probably done more time working on it than penalty kill, and that stung us on that night back, coming back as well. So I just think our power play group, the confidence with their execution, they pretty much know their routing. They pretty much know one another now. So it's just, there's an opponent. Don't get me wrong, but you got to be able to adjust on the fly and make sure you can ad lib at times as well.
I'll sneak in one more, but it was good to see Evan Murray in the scoring column a few times over the weekend.
Yeah, there's been quite a few comments about Evan getting goals. It's not lack of shots or lack of scoring chances that they just didn't find the back of the net. I think his game has grown in some other areas that don't get you on the score sheet. Like, he's played harder minutes against better players. That's been a big piece. But he's going to continue. He's too talented. He's too savvy not to, put some back in the back of the net. We would love it. But we also don't want to lose up. I think his game is better now than it was a year ago when he had all the goals. So hopefully the goals catch back up with his total game improvement.
Kevin?
This is a team in Tech, Luke, that I feel like defensively, they just every year, no matter the personnel. I mean, they're obviously, they lost a really good goaltender from last year, but they just always find a way to be so stout defensively. What is it about them you feel like when you watch that makes them tough to score on?
Well, I think their goaltenders do a good job. You got to give their defending crew a lot. There's not a lot of seconds to be had around their cage. The way they swarm up in the corner, they get to spots quickly. You can tell there's a pride to their defending style. At the same time, some of their best offense, is the idea that they don't spend a lot of time in their D zone. They're pretty quick to get in and get to the puck and get their exits. So they got a good plan, a good formula together, and they're balanced. I think it's they're balanced. They've got really good 200-foot forwards that have plenty of skill, but they've got a responsibility level on their own end as well.
Looking at the numbers for goaltending in the CCHA, you're looking at potentially 3, maybe more, of the top 10 goalies in college hockey right now. Is that something that you would have expected when you started the year? I know obviously a lot of the guys have great confidence in Alex, but just throughout the league as well.
Yeah. I think our league checks hard, like not physicality check, but like just I think there's a lot of pride that goes into the 200-foot game inside of our league. It shows up when we are head to head. Maybe there's less time and space in our league, which that's a huge bonus for potential recruits that you want to come into a league that they can say what they want. I get it's hard, but there is no time and space for offense. So I think those numbers lend to that, but the goaltending's really good on top of it.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, well, appreciate the time. Good luck this weekend.
You bet. Thank you, guys.